on this week's episode of Forever I Do.
And so he said to me, somewhere in that time, he says, I know you're running. You can put on your track shoes, you can run, go on. But just so you know, when you stop running, I'll be right here. Mad!
When the bride is coming down the aisle, or you see a mom crying, or you see the dad looking so proud to give away his daughter, and so forth, all of that is photojournalism.
This is Forever I Do. To find true love, believe you are worthy. With their story of faith and friendship, meet Trevor and Andrea McCurdy.
So 7 years ago, there was an event in JLF, their credit union celebrating 50 years, and they invited me to come and to sing, to provide entertainment. Got there early, did my sound check, set up my things and so on, sitting at the back just chilling, and in walks this gentleman. He spots me to the back and he makes a beeline for me. You're new here. And I thought, that's a little obvious, but sure, okay, fine. Who are you? And so I told him my name, what I was here to do, and I think you told me, you tell me your name?
Yeah, introduce myself.
I don't recall, but this is my version, yes? And he asked me, where I'm going to sit? And I said, I'll move up at some point in time when more persons come in. He goes, what's going to happen is that you're going to sit. I know you're going to sit. I said, where? Third row in from the right of the room, third row back, second seat in. I said, is it? And your seat will be? He says, first seat in. I said, okay. I was a little annoyed and a little put off because it was a little up front, just a little forward in my face. And then he takes my handbag up and lifts me off the seat and escorts me to the seat and sat me down. And that is the end of Solomon Gundy.
No, you need to know the version, all right? The thing about it, I came up early in the morning before the function. When I came into the room, they were still setting up somewhat, and I saw this damsel in distress in the corner. And so I figured more or less, why is it that this lady is sitting over there by herself in the corner? And right away, I ready to make some little trouble. So I was there thinking, now I'll go over there and I'll just sing a little song to her and then get it on with. When I decided to do that and went over there and asked her name and introduce and all of that, why are you here? And she said she's here to sing. That idea about me singing now just went through the window. Okay? And then conversation, because she being alone in the room just didn't knock it. I could be there. And what she said is true. I pointed her to the chairs and why. And so more than anything is that she could not have seen is that I was thinking ahead of her. I told her the reason why you're going to sit there, because when your name is called for your event, you would just slip out, go there. So the cheekiness of asking me, so where are you going to sit, could only be that I'm sitting next to you. That was not the first thing. And when she went up and did her act and came back down, she realized, wow, I just came out, went up and get back with ease, no disturbance to anyone.
Because he thought, he really has convinced himself that I would not have sat anywhere close. So I would have been encumbered and not known that I would have also worked at all, because it wouldn't have been my first rodeo, but hey. That would have been Tracks and Records.
Tracks and Records.
So what had happened was, he decided to take me on this, to invite me out for dinner. And Miss Independent, because he is coming from all the way in Upper Camp, and I am coming from Maline's roadside. And so he thought, the way how his mind works, very calculated and so on. So he says, okay, how about us meeting there? Because if I come and get you, then it's going to take a lot. We're going to be in traffic for a while and so. All right. So he says, okay, let's meet. At the time I wasn't mobile, so I was going to call a cab. He says, call a cab and I'll pay for it. Miss Independent, because Mina and a man paid a bill for me. Yeah. So I got there and I had already paid my driver. So when he got there, of course, he was standing outside waiting, and he goes, he's ready to pay. How much is it? He said, not much, pay for it already. And I could see the look on his face like, ready, Miss Lady? Ready? That was a look. Do you recall that look?
Yeah,
man. I said, didn't see it. Really, Miss Lady? Yeah. But we went to Tracks and Records on our very first date.
It was a good experience.
Well said.
We went, sat at a meal, we were able to talk about just about any foolishness that came to mind.
Keyword foolishness.
And get to understand the chemistry and the brain, how it worked. Yeah. And it was a worthwhile event. And afterwards, I figure more or less should have called her taxi to take her, since she was that independent. You did call the taxi, did you?
Right. So, no, he took me home after that.
So I took her home. Wow.
No, you can tell that story there.
Years after, because we were friends. The decision is somewhere around 2015. We've been together. But I went to the church a morning, and the sermon was of such. And even by then, I was at home before then. That was the time for the engagement. I was at home, and somehow the Sunday morning, somebody else came up on me and said, let's look at some rings. Didn't intend going anywhere, doing anything, but just look some rings. So I went on and Googled rings, and this company said to me, you need to register and then you'll get the information. So I registered and I started to look at rings. And I said, let me check out. And so I called my brethren after that in New York, and I said, listen, I'm thinking about this. I'm just thinking. I look in so and so, and he said, T, all right, by Monday even, I'll have some things to send and show you. And he did so. But when he showed me that Monday evening, he said to me, give me until tomorrow. There's one place I want to go, and I think I'll have something to show you. He went Tuesday even, was able to send me. I said, I look at it and I sent back, and I said, wow. I said, I know it would have been that one. And I said, good, my brethren. That's looking good. His wife, and he said it, that my wife waiting on this moment long time to go and shop for a ring for you, which is his wife. Because I'm now saying, I'm just having a thought. Seeing all of that, I told him, yeah. And he decided that he's going to get it. And it came down in a diplomatic bag the November around there, and was in my closet. Put down whenever that time comes or whatever it is. And so I went to church the December, and the sermon preached. But there was a specific thing about testing God and see. It spoke to me because I don't think the Reverend is able to recall. Because it was in his thing, he just said it. Test God and see. And it came to me to say, listen, wow, now that any fear or any matter of making a decision, I decided that, okay, I'm going to test God and see. Now, this wasn't planned, but I went ahead and do all of that. And so the December, there was the service, morning service, caroling, and I
took Christmas morning.
Yes, and I took the ring, And I called the Reverend away. Nobody saw him. She didn't even understand what was taking place. And we went inside. He blessed the ring. And he said, hope you have an occasion for this. I said, I think so.
Wow. I don't know if I can identify a specific time, but certainly as I got to know him, within a month of us meeting, because we met in January 2013, by the February, I was pretty clear in my head that this is a good man. It's very, very clear. I was very clear from the outset, but I was in a state where I wasn't able to fully take it on, appreciate it, whatever, but I could acknowledge it, that this was a good man. That was very obvious from the get-go. It took a little bit of time thereafter for me to really open my mind. As a matter of fact, if I were to confess, and this would probably bless him, because he has always told the story and I've always pretended it didn't happen. But there was a time when I realized that I'm beginning to fall for this person. My heart is getting connected later that year, and I really became scared, and I was like, to the point where I took a plane. I got on the plane in December of that same 2013. I said, you are what they call too good to be true. You are going to break my heart. You recall that?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. You're going to break my heart. And I got on a plane. You know, I'm leaving on a jet plane. Listen, got myself into the Big Apple. And it was a Christmas, it would have been my birthday at the same time. I said, make it a birthday trip and so, but I really was running away because I honestly thought that he's gonna break my heart. This is too good to be true. And he figured out what, because I never said it in so many words, but he picked it up. And so he said to me, somewhere in that time, he says, I know you're running. You can put on your track shoes, you can run, go on. But just so you know, when you stop running, I'll be right here. Mad! I said!
That's it.
So by the March of the following year, it really hit me. I'm like, are you stupid? So everything you're looking for, woman, I had to talk to myself. I said, hi, self, gather yourself together. And so by the March of the following year, it's 2014, so it's like a year and something after that. That's like.
Well, the proposal was her birthday. And planned a little thing over by my home, mom, our good friend, our best friend, and we decided to spring it on her. And because she was there,
I don't like surprises.
I had nothing to do, we weren't doing anything, and I decided that we're gonna do this thing, and I got our friend to pick up the cake. We bought the cake, all of that.
So they picked up the cake?
Yeah, all of the cake, because we were in church, you know.
Yes,
so I couldn't pick up the cake because it would have been known. So the cake was picked up and all of that. And they came, and I got her to think that, let us go and look for your friend, which is our very good friend, and she wouldn't mind spending the trip and the birthday. And did so. Little did she know, the plan was really in place for them to come over. And then she decided that, okay, that with a piece of cake, black forest cake,
with the requisite amount of spirit in it.
And we decided, okay, we can do whatever. At that time, the cake was on its way, so she went to fix herself. The friends came while she was inside, and I ushered them into my mom's room and so forth. We're still leaving the house to go to our friend. And so when we were ready to go, went in my mom's room, there was a surprise. Our friends were in there. Surprise! So the cake and friends came already. And then we had a celebration of our birthday, and all that time she's not aware of what to come. Because it was a covert operation. And so while everybody was now settled eating cake and drinks, she was sitting there. I then came before her and I said, remember your friend saying about changing that ring that you used to have on your finger? Some weeks ago, she told her. I said, you can take it off. She didn't understand what was going to hit her. I don't think she understood until long after. And she took it off, and I said, you know, I love you, and I put the ring on her finger.
Shocked me. As a military man, he is not given to expressing lots of emotion, and that's the reality. Not that he isn't feeling it, but you know how man and man stay. They don't really get the love of something that does, yeah. And that's who I married. And I had to learn that about him and learn how he expresses himself. So part of my mind be the kind of girl that have the traditional ways of understanding how it is expressed and not seeing it, not hearing it. So you're not so sure in your mind. So we're having this gathering and we're sipping on some juice and eating Black Forest cake and everything, and the same cake I wanted for my birthday. And he appears at my right side on his knee, and I'm like, what's happening to you? Come to your foot. and so he said, you remember about that story about the ring and so. But take off the ring. And he slips the ring on, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. By this time, he got back up and was standing a little way off, and I got up and just slammed right into his chest. Bawling, I said, "You're wicked to me! You're wicked!" Oh, I was thumping him in his back, hugging him, and about to say, women, we're so complex.
Still to come.
From the moment we get up in the morning, right back, we discuss just about everything. And it is important. If I feel I have a challenge, I don't need to go outside to speak to someone on the challenge. It's right there. We just put it on the table.
But first, how do we capture the most beautiful day of your life? We talk photography with Jordache Dash Jones of Dash Productions.
So photography is one big umbrella with different headings that fall underneath it. So you have commercial, you have sports, you have still life, you have fine art. Now a wedding has all of these together. So for instance, you take a picture of the rings and the shoes and the dress. Technically that's a product photography because the ring is a product, the shoes is a product. You need to be able to pose them or structure them in such a way that they look appealing before you take the picture. So that's product photography. When the bride is coming down the aisle, or you see a mom crying, or you see the dad looking so proud to give away his daughter and so forth, all of that is photojournalism, which is a different aspect of photography. Also, when the bouquet is being tossed, you have to be quick enough to catch that shot. That's sports photography. You understand? So technically, it's all the different aspects of photography combined in one day. Wedding photography came about when somebody asked me to assist them on a shoot, and then it's just been smooth sailing from there. I realized I had a nice little knack for it. It is a type of photography that encompasses all the different aspects of photography. So, and I'm one of those persons who can't do one thing for too long, right? So if I'm going to do commercial photography, I need to be able to do another set of photography, opposed to just keeping it at that one thing. So weddings give me the opportunity to kind of just express or do all the different aspects of photography. Alright, I'm an easygoing person. I am a let it flow type of person. Now, I won't tell you that for every wedding I have a plan. Sometimes I don't, because there's a law that says anything that can happen will. Because sometimes you buck up some days where the sky is overcast, sometimes there's a hot sun, sometimes it rains. So how do you know? Plan for all these things, you don't know what the day will entail. So I go to every wedding with a blank slate. I have some structured shots in my brain, but I will know whenever I get to the location, I will look around and see what is happening, and then from there, so now I can figure out what I will do with the client. So I'll say, hey, I see a nice little tree over there, so I realize that the sun is extremely hot, let's do it around here, or let's do some on the stairs, or whatever. So I wait until I get to the location, let's let the inspiration flow. But as I said, there are structured shots that you might have in your head already that you will take. We're at Boone Hall Oasis, and I say, normally when rain starts at Boone Hall, it is going to rain for at least another hour or two. So we have a choice. We either come back on another day, or we go take some shots in the rain. And the client said, let's go in the rain. Did some shots in the rain, but I would prefer, sometimes it's best to come back another day. Well, you have to meet with them to get a feel of who they are. Because not you will know what kind of things to say, because not everybody will find certain jokes funny, or not everybody can use certain words with, to kind of make the day run smooth. So getting a feel of them. I met in a room once, him not smiling at all. And then, so if you would say to this man smile, and if you kept saying smile, he would get annoyed, But I realized you have to learn him. And then I realized certain things that he made mention of in terms of football and so. And he cracked one football joke and this man was dying with laughter. I'm like, okay, so personality for the couples, when a couple gel, and you can see love from them. That way it is pretty easy to pose them. It is pretty easy to go forth and ask them to do anything. And once you have the bride on your side, the husband will follow. Right? Trust me, happy wife, happy life. That day is the day for yes, for the bride. That the bride want, that is it. So personality to me is key, but at the same time, you can't bend somebody's personality. You just have to learn their personality as a photographer and work accordingly. Don't have anybody micromanaging. Don't have those aunties and uncles who normally pop up with them cell phone to block the shot. Don't allow that other auntie will love tell people what to do. Oh hey, let's put the dress over here. Let's do this there. Let's do that. You go sit there in the audience and watch everything, right? Let's just let the professionals do what they do. I also tell them that on the day, if things are going bad, the greatest thing is that you both are getting married. One moment to see, to me, is a little bit more emotional on the side where you see a dad crying because he's so happy for his daughter. And I've said to certain groups, listen, if you feel for crying, because we see bigger man than you crying. I see generals in the army come and give away their daughter and break down the tears. And these men don't cry. They've lost so many things, lost so many friends, so many things in the army, and they don't cry, but to give away their only daughter. So those moments are kind of wow for me. To see a son dancing with his mom, at the reception, and she's just breaking down the tears because, your one boy gone now, we got starting life and you're just so happy for him and so forth. So those are the kind of wow moments I like. As it pertains to taking pictures, I like clients that ask me to bring the wow. So there was one the other day. There's this fire thing that I like to do. Is where I do a little thing with the camera to kind of slow down the light and do a light painting thing. So they love when there's this big fire behind them and so forth. It just gives the picture that wow factor. And I like clients who like when I get crazy. Right, so I have been put in a position where I practice a lot. So this practice allows me to work under any circumstance. Whether it be rain, whether it be wind, whether it be no light at all, I would bring in light, because I've had cases where we go to Hope Gardens and everybody was running late and 7 o'clock catch you at Hope Gardens and that is pitch black. So that means my team have to bring on more lights and we have to shoot there because we don't have a choice, right? So to be honest, I don't see a challenge that I've never overcome, or I don't foresee any that I don't think we could. Because what's the worst that can happen? You jump out of a plane, right? Now if you jump out of a plane to do some wedding shots, I am going to be scared, you understand? And I have to think about it long and hard, but I do think that me and my team would do it, because there's always a first for everything. But I think because I've been practicing so much and I research a lot. So if anything you bring to me right now, I will go and research it and be able to create it in however long or in no time at all, because I like to process things and I love a challenge. When you're engaging a photographer or engaging me, as soon as you have your venue, your this and that in place, then is the time you call the photographer and say, hey, I'm getting married at X and Y on this and that date, and I would like to find out what kind of packages you offer or what can be tailored to my wedding and so forth, and then pass on a little bit of information, and then whatever you like, let's work with that and make it happen. You can check me on Instagram at I am Dash Productions, or you can call me at 471-8957, or email me jordache.jones@gmail.com. Hi, I'm Jordache Jones, and you're watching Forever I Do.
Thanks, Dash. Now let's get back to our couple, Trevor and Andrea.
Trev is my friend, my bona fide, my fleshy fide, because I'm a fleshy girl, my fleshy fide. Trev is my friend, my brethren. He is my partner in crime in all things foolishness. We do foolishness together, and it's so natural. And I appreciate his mind. I appreciate how he loves me, which is more than I really even could have imagined for myself. And not as I didn't deserve it, but in terms of how he expresses it, I'm like, you might just be onto something, McCurdy. He's my friend. And so it's such a joy to be in love with, to share a space with, to do life together with my friend, my brethren. I like him.
I think marriage brings the various challenges. It is how you decide to cope with it. And because we made decisions before by looking at various things and say this is how we want our marriage to be, we're not into stress each other. So we're not going to fight and curse. Whatever it is that we're going to do, it must benefit us. And so it is not about who wears the pants. So I'm not threatened by my wife saying this is her, and she's not threatened by that. It is what best for the couple. So we have taken that approach in whatever we do. What is best for us? And so it was easy for us, some hurdle. When we get there, we just know what the answers will be or the solution, and we move ahead and select.
The thing is, both of us are getting married later in life. I was married before, and Trev has never been married prior to me. So we're an older in terms of age couple. I'm in my 40s when I was getting married. He was in his 50s when we got married. So getting to that stage in life, there are some things that you're just not going to prepare to put up with. And so we were having conversation from early out in terms of who we are, what we're wanting for each other, and so on and so forth. So by the time as we come together, we're understanding ourselves and understanding each other a lot better. So one thing though that we have to do is that because we're two alpha people, so we had to be swallowing our egos and understand it is now us, without losing you, the individual, and also to understand that I'm serving you and you are serving me. And if we keep that focus, so we don't always agree on everything.
It's serving. I think in my sense it's more looking.
No, him still look me. Him can't. Oh, bless him heart. Him can't himself name let me say. Oh Lord, yeah. So him still look me. But the thing is, we constantly communicate, constantly talking things through, because we don't always agree on everything because our perspectives are very different, our experiences are different, and so on. But we took a commitment from early out that we're going to talk down everything. You don't have to shout to get your point across. If I respect you and I love you, then I'm not going to speak the particular way. And so me being single for a good while between marriage 1 and 2, and him being single that's another hurdle that we had to cross, because we're accustomed to being independent and doing your own thing and whatever. You have to understand that you're taking somebody into your space. You have to be very understanding and be prepared to do the work. So you have to drop the ego. The ego is not going to work because we're going to constantly be butting heads. Because I'm accustomed to, and I'm accustomed to. So sometimes he will see me doing something and he will say, why you don't try it that way? And listen, it bugged me now. But I tried, and if it doesn't work, I said, okay, so it didn't work. Yeah? This is how I'm doing it. Or I may try it and reverse is equally true. And you might say, McCurdy may be onto something, and it works. But we constantly talk, constantly work things, and we always jokingly say we're a theme. we're a team. So we keep it. We're a team, and we're doing this together.
Don't hurt. Don't make anything fool you. We speak just about any foolishness that comes to our mind from the moment we get up in the morning, right back. We discuss just about everything, and it is important. If I feel I have a challenge, I don't need to go outside to speak to someone on the challenge. It's right there. We just put it on the table. Whatever is best for us. And the thing about it, we allow each other to be ourselves. Not because we come together, everything must be together. She'll have her space, I'll have my space.
Yes.
We know when we come together, we have the friend space, we have the family space, and we move around it and still remain an individual. That's the key to it.
Be open to, how do I say this? It's like ego thing is a really, really important thing in relationships. Because sometimes as individuals we want to assert our individuality, and the truth is that there's a place for that, but understand that you're a team, even without losing the individual, because the person falls in love with the individual. But you understand that even in your state of individuality, that you are always concerned about the other person and factoring the other person in. And so how they think, how they feel is important, because it will make your space, it will enrich your space even better. Because if they feel heard, if they feel that what I'm saying matters, then they're going to reciprocate. Because all everybody wants is to feel like I'm heard and I'm valued. Every human being wants that. And if they're with somebody who makes them feel valued, there is nothing that they won't do for you.
Thank you so much, Trevor and Andrea. Here's to many more years of happiness and wedded bliss.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm Andrea.
And you are watching Forever I Do.
On the next episode of Forever I Do.
One of the interesting things that I find out since COVID, Dahlia, let me tell you, so Tamika can't cook. Sorry. It take a global pandemic for my wife to go and cook. And she can cook too, you know.
Cook before.
Need a polished, clean, seamless wedding event? We talked to comedian Curly Roberts about what it takes to make a great MC. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Makeup services by Nardine Makeup. Coordination and planning, Shakima Hines of Island Bride, Jamaica. Set decor, Thai Flora Lux. Forever I Do is filmed on location at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, your wedding destination in Kingston, Jamaica.